Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Luthia and welcome to AI Plays Hypixel Skyblock. Today I'm going to be going over a farming method that I used to make well over 150 mil since the update and probably about 1 to 2 mil an hour using two simple methods in the game at once. For this video I'm going to be farming chickens and sugarcane. This method can be used with any minion that spawns mobs with a few simple changes. Now I must warn you ahead of time. This method is not AFK. I know, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to actually play the game. Groundbreaking, isn't it? Alright, so for this method, your requirements are going to be a mob collection pool of some sort. There are a lot of videos online right now from 30 Virus of people who have made this exact farm. For the pufferfish hat, the AFK farm, this same structure can be used for this farming method. The next thing you're going to need is a large-scale farm of some sort. I'm sure you can see the sugarcane down there. You can use pumpkins, you can use sugarcane, you can use melons. If you're going to use melons or pumpkins, I recommend you have 2 full layers made. The next thing you're going to need is your tool of choice for whatever you're farming, so a gold axe with Harvester 5 or a golden hoe if you're doing sugarcane, which is what I will be doing. I recommend that you have harvesting on this if you're doing sugarcane, just because that really adds to the value of it, but it's not required. The next thing I recommend that you get is a chicken pet. It doesn't have to be legendary like mine. A rare one will do exactly what you need it to. I will explain why further in the video, and the last thing you're going to need is teleport pads, so that you can get effectively from wherever your mob grinder is, or mob collector, excuse me, to your farm. So if you want, you could probably do without the teleport pads. You just have to set your mob grinder up really close to the farm, but it will be slower. So for this method that I'm using today, I will be doing sugarcane, so I will be using a hoe. Like I mentioned before, it's really important that you have harvesting 5 on it. It's not that hard to get. It gives you a 62.5% chance to double up your sugarcane. So if that procs, depending on what your farming level is, you can get up to 4 or up to 6 per sugarcane. Oh, all my chickens have spawned. Hold on. So for pets, you can of course have the rare chicken like I mentioned, but legendary will actually do a lot better for you. You want the rare pet so that you can have extra. The second ability, which is killing chickens, has a % chance to drop an egg. This will increase your eggs per hour drastically. And having the legendary means that you have mighty chickens, so your chicken minions work 18.6% faster on your island. Now this is of course only effective on chicken minions, so if you're using any other kind of farming minions, I recommend you use the rabbit. The legendary rabbit will also give you efficient farming, excuse me. Farming minions work 6.3% faster while on your island. So if you're doing anything other than chickens, I recommend you get a rabbit. So again, the most important thing when it comes to this method is having enough of a farm. I currently have 4 layers of a farm so that you never run out of farming materials. Ooh. Well, so if you're using sugarcane, you only need 1 full width farm, because by the time you get back from the beginning to the end, your sugarcane will have respawned. If you're using pumpkins, I recommend having at least 2, or melons. 2 layers will mean that by the time you get finished with the second layer, you will be able to go back to the beginning, and your pumpkins will mostly be spawned again. Again, it's not the most efficient because there is some time. The more layers you can have, the better, because it means that eventually you will have enough pumpkins that you can essentially just farm continuously, regardless of whether you're doing chickens or not. So yeah. Now teleport pads, these are super important because I have 2 set up. One that brings me to 1/4 of the way through my farm, and the other one brings me to 3/4 of the way through my farm, so that I only have to run at the most from here to the very end. And that means that the amount of time saved is really drastic, so teleport pads are super important for this method. And last, of course, but not least, this mob collector, which I mentioned before. If you guys really want me to make a video on how to build it, I can. I'll build a little time lapse and some schematics for it if you would like. but there is videos of this all over the internet. Just Google the AFK pufferfish farm, and you will find lots and lots of videos on this, I promise. Now in terms of skills, you're going to want as high farming as you can get. I have 27 farming. So for me, this averages in sugarcane, I average about 5 enchanted sugarcane per hour. Really depending on whether I'm focusing or not. At max efficiency, I could probably get 5.5. So the higher farming skill, the better. Now, if you have low farming, I recommend melons, because melons will give you 9 coins per harvest. And I believe 4.5 EXP now, because they just gave them EXP. So if you have a low farming level, you know, between sort of 15 and 25, it's going to be best for you to do melons. Pumpkins are technically not better until, I believe it's farming 28. So if you're going to do, you know, between pumpkins or melons, I recommend you do melons. I am doing sugarcane simply because, currently, because everybody's trying to level their alchemy pets, it is selling for anywhere between, I think I've sold between 150 and 250 per enchanted sugarcane. Now the prices have come down from there, so you will have to do the math on whether sugarcane is going to be more effective for you or melons are going to be more effective for you. So now in terms of the minions, I recommend you do as many minions as you can give up. I currently have 20 here, and I can make a super enchanted egg every 2 hours with this method. All of my minions are tier 7. I have one tier 9. And that, yeah, it comes out to just about 1 egg every 2 hours. Currently, they're selling for about $1 mil, which means you're making about 500k an hour. In terms of fuel, I recommend you get the best fuel you can get your hands on. I have enchanted lava buckets. Catalysts I did use at the beginning to give me a boost, because it meant that I was getting 3 eggs per chicken. If you are using chickens, it's super important that you use enchanted eggs in your minions, because that means that every time they spawn a chicken, they will drop an egg. Okay, now in terms of farming, another important thing that is not required but will increase your efficiency is your speed. So for sugarcane farming, you're going to want 230 speed. I currently, as you can see in the corner, have 149 because I have haste beacons on my island that provide me with speed 2. And that means that I am sitting about 130. For pumpkins and melons, you're going to want to get to about 270 speed. Now, in terms of getting to the speed cap, I wouldn't recommend beacons because they're super duper expensive, because they can't be made in-game anymore. I was lucky enough to get my hands on 5. So in terms of speed, your most cost-efficient thing to provide you with speed is going to be your pumpkin boots. They go for between 150 and 200k on the auction house. Super cheap for what they give you. Depending on your farming level, they give you 4 speed per level. And this will effectively make it much easier for you to get to the speed cap you need to. The rogue sword, which everyone should have received at the beginning of the game, is another super useful tool when you can't max your speed normally. The ability that can be used on this means that you'll gain 20 speed for 30 seconds. So that means every 30 seconds you'll have to stop, you know, hit it 6 or 7 times to get you to speed, and then you can start running again. The young set is what I use. Each piece will give you 20% speed or more if you reforge correctly. And at a total for the 4 of them, I believe it gives you 150. So including base speed, that gets you to about 250 speed. Again, the young set is not that cheap. I believe the pieces are going for about $1 mil each right now. So again, if you can't afford that at this moment, with this method, if you spend enough time farming, you will be able to afford it quickly. It's super useful. I've been using my young set since I bought it probably 5 or 6 months ago now. It was my first dragon set. Another sort of budget version of the young set is a rogue sword and a wise crystal set. This is a set that's quite cheap. I believe it goes for under 750k on the auction house right now. The whole set will give you a massive amount of mana if you have lit your farm up correctly. And if you use this set with the rogue sword, you can get to speed cap super easily. You don't really have to spend anything more than buying the set, and it's super cheap to make if you can get the crystal fragments. I wouldn't recommend trying to buy it right now, just because crystal fragments are super duper expensive because everyone's using catalysts in their chickens. So I'm just going to quickly show you the method that I use to do this now. So you're going to start at your mob farm. You're going to throw your fishing rod in, and you are going to run down to your farm, and we're just going to pick one for now, and do 2 rows of sugarcane. This will mean that it takes you, if you're at speed cap in sugarcane, it takes about 50 seconds to do 1 run. And that will mean that if your minions, depending on, you know, how quickly, if you are at level 100 legendary chicken pets and, you know, they're all tier 9, they will have stopped spawning before you get there. I am currently at the point where it takes me 50 seconds and my minions take 65 total to spawn all 5 chickens. Another important point about this, a little tip that I can give you for crafting, is if you right click and left click when you craft in the quick craft menu, it disables the cooldown, so you can quick craft your whole inventory super fast. And then you come right back up, flick the chickens again, and jump back in. So this is the method. You could do at 50 seconds, you could do something like, what is that, 100 or 60 or 70 rounds of this an hour, which means depending on how much sugarcane and depending on what your level is, you're going to get anywhere from 3 to 6 sugarcane. Actually, I'm pretty sure you can get up to 8 if you're at 50 farming. And currently at price, on average, I sell 5 sugarcane an hour at about 150. So that's 750k an hour, not including the 500k you'll be making from eggs. So currently this method, and I know it is update time, this method makes between 1.25 and 1.5 mil. And I don't have to leave my island at all. I'm leveling up my chicken even faster as I do this because I'm gaining farming EXP. So altogether, this really works in a way that will allow you to bring in lots of eggs, bring in lots of enchanted sugarcane that you can sell or that you can use to level alchemy pets as well. This means that your chicken will go up and up, which means your chances and your minion speed will go up as it levels. And if you just do this continuously, you should make plenty of money. I don't know how long this method's going to last, just because the pet update really put a lot of hype on chicken minions. And now the market is getting to a point where it's kind of saturated. But I will say right now that I think cows are going to be your next best bet, in which case you would change out the chicken minion for a rabbit minion. You do the same method, but currently cows give you leather, which is selling for about 5k a stack, and give you raw enchanted beef, which people are buying up in drones to get the pet from the traveling zoo. So I'm going to guess that the next best money maker after chickens is going to be cow minions. So I'd recommend maybe sort of thinking about, you know, looking at where the market is and doing some math and seeing whether chickens or cows are going to be your best bet right now. Now, with this money-making method, I did end up myself with a whole bunch of legendary pets, a wolf, a rabbit, a chicken. I bought them all on day 2 of the update, and then I bought a legendary Enderman pet as of 2 days ago. So in the next few weeks, I will be streaming my progress with this pet. That will be my next video. I've seen a few videos come out with legendary Enderman pets already, but it's usually just a sample size of 1 hour with the pet and 1 hour without the pet, which is not a big enough sample size. So I'm going to be streaming every night for the next couple of weeks, and putting together a compilation of most likely 50 to 100 hours of testing the legendary Enderman pet. Of course, it won't be completely accurate because it will be leveling as I do, but nonetheless, that will be my next video. So if you would like to come and ask me any questions, my Twitch and my Discord will be in the description. For now, my name is Luthia, and I will see you all in game.